Hello, guten Tag und grüß Gott. Today is Sunday, March 9th, 2025. Well, another week has gone by, or maybe two since my last video, but here we are again, and darn it, what a week it has been. Oh, let me start out with the politics du jour. And I'm going to use the Wall Street journals here to kind of help me remember things. And, I have to tell you, everything revolves around Trump. I don't think I need those magazines or that Wall Street journals because, how can you miss what's going on in the politics of the United States? So last time, we've talked about, Trump talking about annexing Greenland, maybe annexing Canada. Of course, Canada is now off the table. Last time a reporter mentioned that during a news conference, he says, next question. So anyway. Anyway, I think he's really managed. Trump has really managed to stir up the world order, so to speak. And I'm kind of glad that we had somebody that at least has the prestige and the power of the most powerful nation on earth right now to speak to the world and say, hey, you guys better get your act together. Otherwise, I'm going to help myself to you, Maybe that's a little bit of an overstatement, but nevertheless. So Trump is, slapping tariffs on China, on Canada, on Mexico, and all that kind of stuff. And, the governor of Minnesota, actually came out and said, "Hey, tariffs on Mexico are okay, but on Canada, all this fentanyl is coming through Mexico to the southern border. Why is Trump bothering, to punish Canada? After all, all we ever intercepted was 44 pounds of fentanyl." 44 pounds of fentanyl coming across the border. There's probably thousands of pounds coming across the southern border, and that was evidently the implication. So, the Democratic governors and the Democrats are just trying to figure out, how they can best derail Trump and his agenda, to really muck with the world order, basically. So, Zelensky comes to the White House, and he's, being received properly and so on. So, and Zelensky of the Ukraine, he's the president of the Ukraine. So he comes to the White House, and by the way, that was after Trump called him a dictator. So he comes to the White House to sign the rare earth deal, that America would like to do with the Ukraine. Evidently, they've got some minerals that we want, and of course, we're doing electric cars, and so we need, right now we still need, a lot of lithium and who knows what. I don't know what they got, but anyway, there was a deal ready to sign. So Zelensky comes to the White House, and they're having a press conference. So in front of the world, Zelensky says, you guys, you think that the oceans will protect you, huh, from a Russian invasion? No, And of course, Trump and Vance, got onto him. So it ended really badly for Zelensky, and I think okay for Trump and Vance, because Zelensky definitely was not respectful enough of who these two guys are, that basically have a lot to say in the world, Vance and Trump. Anyway, so they basically threw him out of the White House, showed him the door. Okay, there was no defense during, but it was almost like that, like the Austrian diplomat coming to Hungary, they threw him out of the window, and he fell into a dung heap, so he was okay, But anyway, so that just got me to thinking about it, Zelensky, the defense ring, that kind of thing. Anyway, so Zelensky, of course, went right to the UK, and he was received there and patted down very well and all that kind of stuff. And Trump is saying, look, you guys over there, don't depend on the United States to spend their treasure on defending your particular area, 100%. We'll back you up and all that, and we'll, try to negotiate some sort of a peace with the Ukraine, and we don't really care for Russian expansion into the West either. So we'll be helpful, but you guys better carry your weight. Okay, so I'm paraphrasing what's going on in politics, these days, and that's the Newswit view, basically, So take that as you will. But anyway, Trump is really shaking things up everywhere. After he wanted to turn Gaza into the Mideast Riviera, all of a sudden the Arab states are coming out saying, oh, no, we don't want this. And not only that, we're going to help pay for the reconstruction because, they don't want the Palestinians in their countries either, So, and now that Israel has really clobbered the Palestinians so hard and has caused all this hardship there, especially among the innocents, and war always is tough on the innocents. Believe me, I was part of the innocents, that war was tough on. So I have a special place in my heart, for the youth and the children of Palestine, because they're going through hell right now. They are going through hell. The parents and so forth, they're doing their best to protect their families, but they are really going through hell. And I remember that hell because, bombs are falling on the Palestinians and their homes, their churches, or whatever they got, their mosques and hospitals and whatnot, and the Gaza Strip is basically a bunch of rubble right now. And I don't know whether they've even been able to count their dead. Anyway, I remember the bombs falling on us, okay? We all understood, even as children, when we lived in Czechoslovakia. Of course, it was Sudetenland then, because we moved from the Russian advance through Poland. We moved to Czechoslovakia, which was still in German hands at the time, and the Sudetenland. And we had our alarms and bombs falling. Now, I have to say this, that the town that we lived in, Zwickau, was strafed by airplanes, but the bombs somehow missed us. We had always aircraft in the air, because we understood the alarms, and I can't remember exactly what it was. Was 3 shorts, was there's a warning, airplanes are coming. Then there was another warning that said, okay, an attack may be imminent. Okay, and then there was a third warning that said, take immediate cover. Okay, and the immediate cover, I do remember, because I was out there playing with kids, out and an aircraft came into the city, and strafed, And I remember bricks flying all over the place. We were cowered down and near the building in the gutter, and that was really not in the gutter, but in the crooks of the building that was strafed, and the bricks were falling all around us. Nothing hit us, but stones were spitting everywhere, But then, they were gone. But the worst that I remember of the war was actually the occupation. Once the Russians came, and we thought, well, the Russians came, and the Russians came as Cossacks. The Cossacks came, and I think I've talked in that in a previous video. And these guys were fun people. They were fun people. They didn't even bother us. They camped out, out on the outskirts of town. And I used to go and visit them all the time, bring some vegetables or onions and stuff to them, and they would give us sticky candy, So, okay, I was 5 going on 6. And what the hell was I doing out there, wandering around in the neighborhood? That wouldn't happen today. I mean, I don't think of, I let my 5-year-old just go outside, without watching him, And I was on my own, basically. Of course, my mom had my brother Walter, and he was a baby. And she was still breastfeeding him, because, he was 5 years younger, so he was just a year or something, or less than a year. Anyway, yeah, so, this is how it was there. And oh, yeah, in the evenings, I used to go out there, and the Cossacks did tricks, They would get shit-faced, and they'd have a lot of fun. They'd play music, playing their violins and balalaikas and things like that. It was a lot of fun to go there and watch them. And I happened to make friends with a particular horse. The horse really liked me, and would follow me around and stuff, and it was kind of nice. And actually, one time it came into town. We heard that horse, on the cobblestone streets, what the hell's going on? And the neighbors were going out saying, oh, a horse came, Well, maybe we can eat it or something. And, oh, man, I raised all kinds of hell. I was screaming, my horse, my horse, my horse. It was actually my horse came looking for me. This is crazy. How in the hell would it know even how to come from the encampment, but yes, it did. And when I came out, it had a little bit of a halter. I took it back to the Cossacks, because I love to visit that horse, Anyway, my horse story. But what's going on here with with Trump? Of course, he threatens these tariffs, and some of them are actually put in place, and of course then the Chinese also revert, and with tariffs. But one of the big thing is that we're actually bringing back some of the industry to the U.S., especially the high-tech industry. I understand there's going to be a 500 million, maybe 500 billion investment in chip production here in the United States. Somewhere in the southern states. So. We're getting serious about this because I think everyone is worried about, are we going to lose the AI supremacy? The Chinese, with DeepSeek, and all that kind of stuff are coming around with, and what do they have in mind? Do they want to invade us? I don't know. But, it was Hitler that was talking about the yellow, the gelbe Gefahr, the yellow danger. Even back in the 1930s, people thought that, the Chinese that were not even doing anything to anyone, just trying to create a country because they just got rid of their empress. And, but, the people that were forward-thinking, they were looking at, some sort of a big clash between Western civilization and Eastern civilization, or the Asiatics. So, we had two big high the word is leaving me. Anyway, with just a population explosion in India and in China, so a large part of the world's population was beginning to emerge in Asia, and I guess that had the Western powers worried. And well, Hitler, one of the things that he was always clamoring for is Lebensraum, and the only way to get Lebensraum, for him, for the German people and Western Europe, was called the Drang nach Osten. In other words, that was the only place to go to get more land and things of that nature that people need to live on. And so he was definitely interested in what Russia had. And it's really kind of weird, you can kind of think, that Hitler must have read American history pretty well, because that the Monroe Doctrine, Manifest Destiny, there was this drang to the West, that America needed to expand into, and so we had the Louisiana Purchase and all that kind of thing, going on. So it's people need a space to live. Lebensraum just means a space to live. And because right now, I think Germany, once it reunited with East Germany, I think they're around 100 million, cramped in a little place, that you can drive across in one day, So, of course, we've got 300 million here, roughly. But it's a much larger area. And Putin, I don't know, Putin read Hitler and the Monroe Doctrine, and he's well versed in history, because anytime that he talks to any of the Western leaders, he gives them a history lesson of what Russia is, what it became, and what it needs to do. And he has a drang nach dem Westen. In other words, he is pushing toward the West. Why is he pushing to the West? Well, I'm not Putin, so I don't know. But here's the thing, is he already has the East. It's empty, so there's nothing. I mean, he can expand into it, But the West, it's got all these cities and all this building and all these people, taxes, revenue, production, all this kind of stuff. Yeah, the Ukraine first, maybe Poland next, and so on and so forth. Just like what Stalin was up to. Anyway, so much for the politics of today. Where is it going to go? I don't know. But, I guess personally I'm kind of pleased, that Trump is shaking things up. I hope, that his shakeups will wind up in something really good for, not just for America, but for the world. That is my hope. But a lot of pretense has been out there, like NATO and so forth. The NATO countries, most of them haven't even paid their bills, and that they're supposed to pay, and they're expecting America to carry the entire burden. Well, he's had enough of that. Anyway, I want to wrap this up right now, and I promised that I wanted to talk about my spiritual journey, and I can only tell you this much about the spiritual journey. I'm going to tackle that separately at once. Not sure exactly when and how. But, when I do these videos, I kind of have to be in the mood to talk. And that's not happening all the time, especially in late afternoon. It's kind of, old bodies kind of wear down and slow down. But anyway, I hope you had a great week. My week was really, really hectic, because it turns out that my folks are now in Hawaii vacationing. And I'm here, with my best bud, the ghost that I introduced to you guys. And as a matter of fact, he's laying next to me right now. Oops, I just woke him up, and maybe he'll do something rambunctious or not. But, he misses these people that he is supposed to take care of, my wife, my son. And I miss them too, So if they're listening to this video, then I wish them a wonderful vacation. I know they're having a good time. The photos, from Hawaii are just spectacular, Maybe one of these days I'll go. Never know. But we just didn't want to take the ghost and put him in doggy care because he doesn't do well in doggy care. We've tried that, and he gets diarrhea and he freaks out and he's really unwell for a long time. So we won't do that again. And that's the reason I stayed. Anyway, I bid you farewell and have a wonderful week. Maybe next week, if there's less politics and nothing important, I will talk about my spiritual journey. And I hope you find it as fascinating as I do. So I bid you farewell. Goodbye, and so long.